The year 2020 has been on fire! Yeah, the year 2020 has been pretty crappy, and I doubt I need to explain why. Personally speaking, I felt pretty 50-50 about a lot of my earlier content this year. Like I've somehow been underperforming since 2019 or something. I just lacked a lot of energy in earlier videos. The videos themselves were either forgettable or plagued with production issues. And yet people still consider me a good content creator, much to my eternal confusion. But hey, you aren't here to listen to me feel sorry for myself. You're here to watch me tear into some crappy commentaries. The rules are the same as always. This isn't so much a countdown as just me going over commentaries I happen to find. It doesn't really matter if the person I'm responding to is a commentator. If their video was done in the cutaway response format, it will be on this list. I'm judging the videos on how they were edited, the points that were made, and the possible motivations the people behind them may have had. And finally, it doesn't matter if the video was unlisted, deleted, or disowned, I'll still be making criticisms where I feel they're needed. Dishonorable mention time! What was that voice and why did I make it? My first commentary of the year was on this guy, Alexander's Worldly Voice, who did a response to Just a Robot's video on Song 93. And Alexander responded a few months back. The first sign of things to come is he disabled his ratings. If that isn't an indicator of someone who doesn't want negative feedback, I don't know what is. Then his response is an hour long, whereas my commentary is 24 minutes long. This wouldn't be a problem if you brought up some pretty good counterpoints to my arguments. But he doesn't. When I bring up the fact that his video's title, the description, and a hearted comment left by Sign 93 could indicate that he's a white knight, he moseys on over to the video wherein Tempest on Lily Orchard and tries to pull off a gotcha, I guess, by pointing out that Aaron heard a comment left by Anime Christie. The video is alerted with the same problems he had with his response to Jar, pausing too many times to ramble on, and nitpick everything I'm saying, dragging out, let's be nice and call them points that don't really debunk anything, and deflecting all the criticisms aimed at him. He set the video on private for a time, but that was just seemingly to change the title. It's not like I'm against the videos that are done on me. I like the videos that Toytala, NPR, and even the Bronze Show did on me. I just wish that more people that respond to my content would actually refute what I'm saying. And trust me, we'll get to that on this list. Oh god, I'm remembering why I was dreading doing this video. Congrats, Joshua! Last year you were simply a dishonorable mention. This year you've made the list. Joshua House, or as he now calls himself, Nintendo Switch Gamer Dude, did a commentary on Just Scorcher's top 10 fails of Ubisoft and Sega. Problems with Joshua's video include not speeding up the original video's footage, which just drags things out until Joshua makes his point, and when he does, it doesn't really debunk anything Scorcher said.
Notice a severe lack of Sonic up until now. Get comfy!
I've been avoiding this until now because I wanted to save anything Sonic related for one big entry. For the record, I won't be discussing the obvious.
Meow?
Because face it, how often does a gaming company actually get involved with a major film adaptation? Anyways, for all the time they take to promote their iconic Blue Hedgehog, Sega doesn't always do their best at handling how to present him, which leads to some embarrassingly hokey games. In terms of ideas that were dumb from the start, the crowd definitely goes to Sonic Unleashed. I mean, a werewolf situation can be passable if done right, but this? Turning Sonic into an oversized honey badger and making half the game a poor man's beat 'em up? That's just way too silly and really makes the game only half okay.
At least this game is way better than Sonic Boom. We'll get there.
The Hedgehog, a super dark, serious game for the emotionally stunted gamer that nobody understands. Ugh, so mature, so edgy.
So laughably pseudo-dark, annoying, repetitive, and confusing thanks to the branching paths. Seriously, they gave Shadow a motorcycle and a machine gun.
Because that's a little redundant. Can you say redundant?
Oh, and
It's not like the beginning and middle had anything new to bring up but one that got ignored.
taking jokes way too seriously, which ties into the previous point.
A ship showcasing epic bestiality.
I'm picturing a ship showcasing epic bestiality. I'm picturing a ship showcasing epic bestiality. I'm picturing a ship showcasing epic bestiality.
It's yiffing, not bestiality.
But my favorite part comes here.
It's okay, I think you're weird too. No really. You're in no position to judge since you hate hot sauce. Had a pedophilic relationship with Ink Rose in the past. Had a pedophilic relationship with Ink Rose in the past. Had a pedophilic relationship with Ink Rose in the past.
Fun fact, if you accuse someone of being a pedophile with zero proof, you can face legal charges. Joshua says this was a joke, but a joke has to have setup and precedent, which was lacking here. So it comes off like Joshua was just calling Scorcher a pedo for no reason. It doesn't help that tone is impossible to convey through text-to-speech either. I took issue with this when I first watched the video, and I still do. And for that reason, Joshua's video makes it onto my list. So, if you were so to me in 2017, you'll likely remember I had a rivalry with another user called Mad Plushy. A rivalry that came to a head in that same year. She's left the commentary community twice, but thanks to my good friend Coyote Lovely, I was made aware that she returned to the commentary community earlier this year. And the first commentary she did was on my one-shot on Dakota, who did a video on the Sideshow CC. I can just tell that everyone familiar with this rivalry is bursting with joy as I speak. First thing that you'll notice is that when she plays my videos, the audio is considerably louder than on my channel. Greetings, viewers! Night at I here, bringing you another commentary. Greetings, viewers! Night at I here, bringing you another commentary. I'm not going to say that Crow intentionally raised the volume or anything like that, but she could have lowered the volume so my voice wouldn't make people's ears bleed. The only other time I've come across this issue was with Alexander's video, but he was using a screen recording device. What's your excuse, bird woman? Crow will claim I don't explain how a video I did on username Webley was different from everyone else who did a video on him.
Now, normally, this would be the point where someone would elaborate why their videos wasn't like the other videos and wasn't basically the same. But Natalia doesn't do this.
Only to cut back to me doing just that. The only connection it has is the comment section of Dull Smith's video, where Dwibbly and I had a little back and forth because I chose to poke fun at him. Now, was it a petty argument in the comment section? Yes, I won't deny or defend that. But the point stands, I provided proof on how my video was different, and Crow just seems to willingly ignore that. I am also an ableist because I used the remake. She claims it was used to mock autistic people. I was able to find the definition she used on Know Your Meme, but it's also associated with expressions of extreme rage or frustration, which has always been the intent when I use it. So yeah, Crow jerry-picked the definition to call me something I'm not. For the rest of the video, Crow just kind of goes on about how the comment chain was petty. I mean, not gonna deny. But then she claims the reason I made the video was to be petty towards Coda.
Yet again, the only possible seeable reason why you did it is because of personal reasons. And I thought the disclaimer at your video said no personal attacks, but this seems to be just a personal attack without very much criticism or explaining as to why they were wrong.
Even though she plays the part of the video where I said I'd been debating with myself whether or not the video was worth doing. Now this isn't just some snap decision. I've actually been debating with myself whether or not to do this for a while now. Meaning I had to think on it and didn't just jump right into it to attack Coda. And if you actually watch my video, the reason I decided to do it is I don't like having my content misrepresented, which is what Crow did. People have repeatedly told me all that Crow wants is my attention, and I know they're right. Hell, she's been waiting for me to respond since she first put it out. However, if all you're going to do in a comeback commentary is have 3 arguments you repeat ad nauseum, attempt to label your target something they probably aren't, and misrepresent their content, I don't think that should be ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sonic Shadow 98. In 2016, Dual Tones and Dark Crimson Knight did a commentary on a guy named Sapphire Sonic Fan, who did a commentary on an obvious troll about Pokemon. Sapphire responded to that commentary, to which Dual Tones did her own response, and years later, Sonic Shadow himself did his response commentary to that video. And I can only assume he did so because he is subbed to Sapphire. First flaw with the video, it's unscripted. Sonic Shadow claiming he's doing fine without a script. Yeah, no. You repeat yourself so much it gets tedious. The video is also emotionally driven, what with Sonic Shadow just insulting the other a few times.
God, I've never met this much stupid people in my life.
And getting needlessly angry.
And that was the most cowardly and sick move you did, making Sapphire Sonic Fan look like a joke because how dare he do a commentary on a stupid idiot!
We also have ad hominems, which are always fun.
And you're the one to talk when you speed up your voice through pitch shifting and make yourself sound like a frickin' chipmunk, like Fred Figurehole or whatever the hell.
And then we get to his final thoughts, where he tells Dual Tones to get off the internet.
Dual Tones, do yourself a favor and get the fuck off the internet. Nobody wants to see your BS.
Overall, the video is just some angry little teenager throwing a shit fit that someone dared say negative things about someone he likes. Here we have the commentary group POG, their first ever group commentary involving founder Umbrus, Boltifer, and Azrael101 Upgraded, commentating on someone named Slumbers, who commentated on Dan Stein, who commentated on a commentator named Ghosty. Yeah, this is a rabbit hole I think the three of them jumped into head first, and had a really hard landing. Oh, where do we begin with this one? Well, I guess we can start with a lackluster attempt at humor, where they spend the first few seconds of the video talking about who is and isn't a furry, seemingly to justify using furry avatars. They also ramble on that shit that doesn't really matter. To impress upon you just how long they ramble for, we don't get to the main plot of the commentary until we're 2 minutes and 17 seconds in. Yeah. It wouldn't really be so much of a problem if the chemistry between these three wasn't delivered like this was the first time they were reading their lines. The audio quality isn't that great either. Once the commentary started, I noticed Umbrus's mic sort of peaked and cracked a few times. Azrael having similar problems to Umbrus, and both these audios sound as though it's of lower quality than their co-op partners. Considering Umbrus was the one who edited this try-op, you'd think she'd notice this, comment on it to the other two, and suggest they redo their lines and or work on their audio quality. But I guess not. The plot of this video is they're being forced to do the commentary by Monokuma.
I'm more saying commentating on someone going against Dad's time.
At least I think that's what Monokuma wants. The filter he's using obscures his voice too badly that you really can't understand what he's saying unless you really open your ears and listen. Boltsy makes this point.
I know CC hates this word, but elaborate.
Which is completely untrue if you've spent any amount of time around this community. I have zero clue what I got the impression that the CC hates requests for elaboration. Azrael is responsible for a lot of ear rape in this video, and Umbrus doesn't once try to turn down the volume when this happens because reasons. Azrael also has this joke where a hand with googly eyes will show up to mock Slumber, and it gets really old really fast, and Azrael just gets really spiteful towards Slumber as the video goes on. Umbrus even admits this gag serves no purpose, but doesn't cut it out because editing's draining. Tillier. Ezreal is easily the worst person in this whole commentary, from the amount of ear rape she commits, and how she just seems to want to tear Slumber down through the whole video. No one in this seems to understand what a straw man is, or else they'd have caught on to their own hypocrisy. The number of times they straw man anything Slumber says. Numbers assume Slumber changes her avatar, simply because it's wearing the same costume Nizzy Monster did during her collab with Ponder Sprocket earlier this year.
Call this a petty nitpick if you will, but why did you change your avatar to a different character entirely out of the blue?
And lastly, there's the hypocrisy regarding insults. At the end of their commentary, they tally up every insult Slumber directed towards Dan, and they all round up to 7. But if you go through their video on Slumber, oh boy, they insult her way so much more. Like possibly a total of 12, if we're to include their attempts at humor. And most of the insults come from Ezreal and Empress, which makes their final thoughts saying they want to see Slumber get better feel disingenuous. Yeah, both who says you shouldn't be an intentional dick towards your target, but seemingly gives a pass to their tryout partners to be as vindictive and spiteful towards their target as much as they want. I get that these three are still kids, but this is a really bad first impression of their group to the rest of the commentary community. If I were to give anyone in this video some advice, it'd be try to avoid contradictions, hypocrisy, and need to spite in their content, and actually listen to what their targets are saying. I wasn't the only one to do a video on Sonic Shadow this year. Our next offender, Raven the Commentator 2001, did as well. Now on my original viewing of the video, I didn't have any problem with it. However, it wouldn't be on this list if it didn't have any problems whatsoever. That being at the 6 minutes and 6 seconds mark, she advertises that she's in the group POG. This really could and should have been its own video. Next, in response to when Sonic Shadow talks about tones of voices, Raven brings up Christine Shaw as a counterpoint about putting energy into one's voice. I'm sorry, but if you watched Gravity Falls and Bob's Burgers, I think you'd be hard-pressed to differentiate her voices from Mabel and Louise. And we finally get what made this video kind of too egregious. Before her final thoughts, Raven has a little expose on Sonic Shadow, pointing out what a dick he is online, and calling him a pedophile for having a picture of Equestria Girl's Twilight Sparkle in his possession. Like I said in the video's comment section, Sonic Shadow's DA page says he's 18, and we can't tell if he's actually sexually attracted to children, or what the canon ages of the EQG girls even are. I agree, Sonic Shadow's a prick, but the part of the video where Raven exposes him for being a creep is really unneeded, and feels more like it's meant to cancel someone rather than criticize them. Raven, I know you want to promote this video, and I certainly know this isn't how you normally are, based on the times I've interacted with you. I chose to follow your channel on Twitter because I know you can do better, and I hope to see that. Just view this as a learning experience and try not to let it happen again, okay? My advice? If a video actually makes you angry, yes, you can channel that anger into your script, but then take a break, and when you come back to look it over, change and correct the points you and others will hurt your arguments and reflect poorly on you. Well, here we are. Reached the video that makes me want to start drinking. I trust PK Russell needs no introduction. He pretty much made a name for himself in 2018 with his video exposing Pentagon's stories. Such a shame he became a bandwagon the following year due to the negative responses to receiving criticism for his Has Been Hotel review. But we aren't talking about that. We're here talking about his response to the Name Junkies commentary on a video PK did about whether or not meme animators should be credited. Junkies video is only 37 minutes and 56 seconds long, but PK's is over an hour. Why? Because every now and then, Parker will just bemoan about he and Junkie used to be friends. And how dare Junkie betray him by doing a commentary on him? No. While all criticism isn't valid, no one is immune to criticism, even if the person you're criticizing is your friend. PK also claims multiple times that the only reason Junkie made his video at all was for clout, and that Junkie misunderstood and misrepresented his video, neither of which is true. His other arguments are pretty shit, since he admits he did his original video about creating animation memers while he was drunk. Yeah, because that's what makes people take you way more seriously than the person criticizing your flawed arguments. Also doesn't help he admits he didn't convey his points well, but defends them anyway. Parker also is offended when Junkie says he needs to show proof for his claims, and repeats, "It's common knowledge" at least 5 times in one sentence. Oh, and need I mention, Parker will just randomly undo his mic at certain points. Yeah, thanks for that. My nice really appreciated it. The video was a knee-jerk reaction to being criticized, with lazy arguments, accusing Junkie of misrepresenting him when he didn't, and appeals to emotion. And for that reason, PK Russell's video on Junkie is the worst comedy I've seen in 2020. This year has been garbage, and I dread going to the next one for fear that it could be worse. When I decided to make this video, I had at least 8 or 9 commentaries on the chopping block, but dropped them from the list simply because rewatching them was a completely miserable experience. Those videos had a bias that just really wasn't fun to watch or comment on, and I've been dreading quitting commentaries this year, because apart from the videos I did on CBR and Game Over Jesse, they just kinda stopped being fun, even deciding the video I did on the quartering. But don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. I've discovered I enjoy critique too much to get up until, I don't know, I'm 50. With all that said, this is Night Hat Eye saying I hope we all survive the new year. Thanks for letting me share my thoughts, and please share yours with me.